The world of boxing has always been full of rivalries, but the present one between Gervonta "Tank" Davis and his former instructor, Floyd Mayweather, stands out not only for the personal nature of the conflict, but also for its potential to impact the sport's future. Mayweather, widely regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, had been a mentor to Davis, helping him become one of the sport's brightest young stars. However, after years of working together, their relationship changed dramatically. This fallout has led in a public and nasty hatred that is still ongoing, with the prospect of a future exhibition match between the two once Davis retires. Many have linked this situation to the highly anticipated but ultimately underwhelming Mike Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight. Despite this analogy, the Davis-Mayweather feud is far more complex, with personal and professional difficulties at its heart. Gervonta Davis was regarded as Floyd Mayweather's disciple for much of his early career, with Mayweather Promotions directing his development. Mayweather had great ambitions for Davis, thinking the young fighter as capable of reaching the level of superstardom that he had attained during his long career. Davis was originally grateful for Mayweather's tutelage, but as time passed, he came to believe that the relationship was not as mutually beneficial as it appeared on the surface. The crux of the disagreement appeared to be Davis's conviction that Mayweather had pushed him into tough situations in which he stood to benefit more from Davis's struggles than Davis himself. This was notably evident in Davis's recall of one of his career's most pivotal moments, his first world title battle versus Jose Pedraza. Davis was only 16-0 and barely 21 years old when he was thrown into the world title bout against Pedraza, a fighter with more experience and a far stronger opponent than Davis had faced up to that moment. Davis's plight was exacerbated by the fact that he hadn't competed in about 8 months and earned only approximately $10,000 each battle. Despite the conditions, Mayweather insisted on Davis taking the bout, with no regard for Davis's lack of preparation. According to Davis, Mayweather's decision to push him into the fight was done with the aim of putting him in a losing situation. Davis later said that Mayweather did not appear to care about his fighter's well-being, instead viewing him as a vehicle to advance his own career and brand. Tank Davis felt the strain and lack of support, eventually concluding that Mayweather's advice wasn't as unselfish as it seemed. He felt betrayed, and this was the start of their estrangement. Davis's relationship with Mayweather was further affected by another major issue: the financial support he got, or lack thereof. While Mayweather did provide financial assistance during Davis's early problems, Davis felt that the money was insufficient to make a lasting difference in his life. He recalls Mayweather giving him little quantities of money, such as $10,000 or $15,000, to support him and his family, but Davis believed this was only a temporary fix. The financial assistance, while welcomed, was insufficient to lift him out of the poverty in which he had grown up. Davis claimed that Mayweather had purposefully given him just enough to keep him dependent on him, feeding him in small doses so that he would continue to rely on Mayweather's advice. This feeling of manipulation grew deeper as Davis progressed in his career, finally leading him to move away from Mayweather's tutelage in 2022. The split between Davis and Mayweather was not amicable. The two publicly exchanged harsh words, making it evident that their relationship had degenerated. Mayweather, who had long regarded himself as the person who helped establish Davis's career, was offended by what he saw as Davis's ingratitude. Mayweather expressed his disappointment on social media and in interviews, claiming that he had always supported Davis, helping him improve as a boxer and pushing him to be the best. In his defense, Floyd said that his criticisms of Davis and other young fighters were intended to urge them to take boxing more seriously and invest in their futures. Mayweather highlighted that boxing was a business, and that new fighters should use their earnings to invest in things like real estate, ensuring that they had something to fall back on when their careers ended. However, Davis viewed things differently. He believed that Mayweather's criticisms were frequently directed at him personally, particularly when he blasted competitors for flaunting their fortune rather than focusing on their abilities. Davis, who was notorious for flaunting his lavish lifestyle, was offended by the insinuation that he was not taking his work seriously. Davis perceived this as an attack on his personal choices, which increased their mutual anger. The comments regarding showy appearances, in Davis's opinion, ignored the hard work he had put in to become the fighter he was, and they appeared to be an attempt to control rather than coach him. Despite the personal hostility, Mayweather never questioned Davis's technique or hitting power. In fact, He officially acknowledged Davis as one of the most dangerous punchers in the lightweight division, labeling him the most powerful puncher at 135 pounds. However, Mayweather also stated that Davis lacked the same discipline and commitment that had contributed to his own success. For Mayweather, boxing was about more than simply talent. It was about leaving a legacy that would linger long after the final bell. He believed that a fighter's financial decisions were just as essential as their success in the ring, and he advised Davis to consider more than simply short-term earnings. The schism between the two widened as Davis's career progressed. Davis rose to prominence with each triumph, attracting attention from both the United States and other countries. His fighting style, which was marked by explosive force and the ability to perform under duress, earned him a fan following. Davis, on the other hand, did not want to be remembered solely as Floyd Mayweather's apprentice. He wanted to leave his own mark. He wanted to show that he could achieve on his own terms, without Mayweather's shadow hanging over him. Despite the consequences, Davis continued to develop as a fighter, winning world titles in different weight classes and consolidating his reputation as one of the world's most entertaining boxers. Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather, who had retired from professional boxing, remained a presence in the public eye. He continued to fight in exhibition contests, where he faced lesser-known opponents in tournaments centered on entertainment more than combat. While these exhibition fights paid handsomely for Mayweather, many fans saw them as a way for the boxer to maintain his celebrity image and continue earning money without jeopardizing his pristine 50-0 record. Mayweather rationalized his involvement in these performances by claiming that they were a chance to create generational riches and continue to produce money long after his boxing career had ended. Despite their personal issues, the prospect of a future battle between Mayweather and Davis looms huge. Both fighters have stated that they are open to the notion of an exhibition contest, particularly when Davis retires from active combat. Many have compared the proposed battle to the spectacle of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, which was heavily condemned for lacking the competitive integrity of a legitimate championship bout. However, the dynamics between Mayweather and Davis are far more personal and combative, which might result in a much more intense and dramatic build-up to the bout. This competition also has economical ramifications. Despite his fortune, Mayweather continues to compete in exhibition contests to maintain his opulent lifestyle and status as a big player in boxing. He has made significant investments in real estate, including a $42 million acquisition of a series of apartment buildings, and he continues to boast about his capacity to produce revenue from his exhibitions. However, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has publicly questioned Mayweather's financial situation, implying that his excessive spending may soon catch up with him. Mayweather, for his part, has rejected these concerns, laughing off any claims that he is running out of money. The rivalry between Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather will remain a hot topic in the boxing world, especially as both men continue to dominate headlines. Davis, with his incredible talent and rising star power, is poised to become one of the greatest boxers of his generation, and he intends to do so on his own terms. Mayweather, who is no longer an active fighter, is one of the sport's most important players, and his legacy looms large in the boxing world. It's unclear whether the two will ever reconcile or resolve their disagreements in the ring, but one thing is certain: the boxing world is keeping a close eye on these two larger-than-life figures as they negotiate their damaged relationship. Their journey is far from over, and the drama of their conflict will captivate spectators for years to come. As for who is the best boxer of all time, the discussion continues. Few fighters will ever have a perfect 50-0 record, and Floyd Mayweather is widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in history. Other fighters, including as Roy Jones Jr., have a different perspective. Jones, a multi-division champion and one of the most exciting fighters of his era, has publicly declared that he does not believe Mayweather is the greatest of all time. Jones believes the discussion is about more than simply records. It is about the quality of competition and the fighter's ability to amuse and excite fans. While Mayweather may have had an unblemished record, Jones believes that fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez, who was 80-0 at one point, should be considered for the title of greatest of all time. The dispute will probably never be resolved, but it is still one of the most fascinating features of the sport. In the end, the animosity between Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather is about ambition, betrayal, and the pursuit of greatness. Both boxers have had tremendous success in their careers, but their personal and professional differences have resulted in a rivalry that is as much about pride as boxing. It will be intriguing to see how their legacies evolve over time and whether they are ever able to resolve their differences. Regardless matter what happens next, one thing is certain: their dispute is one of the most interesting stories in boxing today, and it will continue to attract fans all around the world.